Hey, it's Matt with Tar Heel Digging. Got a box in the mail today from Kelly Co. Love getting packages from Kelly Co. It's like Christmas in September. Hey, this is the brand new metal detector that's out on the market, guys. It's a really nice Fisher F44. Here it is right here. So we're going to do an unboxing and put it together, and I'm going to take it out for a little test spin and see what we can find with it. This thing was just released in June of this year. It's got all the brand new technology in it. A lot of new features, and it's really super lightweight. I really like that about this machine. It's barely over 2 pounds. So this should be a lot of fun to test. It runs on 2 AA batteries, and they say you can get 30 hours of detecting use on those 2 AA batteries. So we're going to test that out for sure. There's an 11-inch concentric elliptical coil with this unit. It's supposed to be a pretty nice coil. We'll give it a good try. One thing that's really nice about this is that it's weatherproof. I can take this out in the rain. Now, the coil is waterproof, but the housing is not waterproof. They're calling it weatherproof. So I'm not going to submerge the housing, but I can submerge the coil. So a nice feature about this thing being weatherproof. There's 5 modes of operation with this unit. There's a jewelry mode, a coin mode, artifact mode, all metal mode, which really goes deep, and a custom mode that allows you to customize the settings and sounds to what you like. This is going to be a fantastic unit, guys. Can't wait to get it out of this box, put it together, and let's take it hunting. Here we go. Okay, well, let's go through some settings on the Fisher F44, and I want to do some air testing just so I know what the tones sound like and how the VDI looks. So this is the basic machine right here. I've got a mode button that will let me scroll through the modes. It's in jewelry mode right now. There's coin mode. You can see the 20s and 40s are notched out. It's going to read everything else. There's the artifact mode, and there's a custom mode, and then the all-metal mode. So, let's go to artifact mode right there. I think I'll do my air testing in that. And then you've got a menu button over here that toggles through these items right here. You've got a backlight, which actually has 5 different settings. You know, it's variable as far as the intensity of the backlight, which is really nice. You've got a volume set. One nice thing about this machine too is that you have an iron audio volume. So if you don't want the iron to sound so chatty, you can turn the volume of the iron down without turning the volume of the other more desirable targets down. There's a sensitivity here, 0 to 20, and then there's the notch button that'll let you knock out certain areas or certain tones. So, alright, let's take a listen at some of these tones here, see what we come up with. Let's do some testing. Here I've got, let's see, I'm in artifact mode. I've got no discrimination, so I want to hear everything. Here's an iron nail. Yep. 16, 17. Alright, here's a zinc penny. 49. 50 with that zinc penny. Typical Fisher type sounds. Here's a copper penny. Coming in much higher. 64. And here is an Indian head penny right here. 48. 48, that comes in quite a bit lower than I had expected. Here's a clad nickel. 34. 34. Alright, let's see how that clad nickel compares to a pull tab. Let's scan an evil one. 35. 35. So, nickels and pull tabs, huh? That's the battle. Here's a mercury dime. Let's hear how high that screams. There's the high tone, 65, 67 on the Merc. Continuing on, let's try a Silver Washington. coming in at 70? 76, that's better. Yep, 76 sounds right. And a Franklin half, silver $half. And that's going to ring in at 84. 82. 86. Alright, so mid-80s. Okay, let's try some more difficult objects here. Let's try this men's wedding band. This is a 18K ring. 41. 41, 42. Might be hitting the 30s there on the first pass, which is where the lower tone comes from. Alright, now let's try a really tricky one. This is a little gold earring. And there's not a lot of gold there. Let's see if it reads it. Boy, it's just barely close to 20, isn't it? Yep. Can't quite get out of that iron zone for that little tiny gold earring. Alright, how about, let's move to some artifacts. Civil War bullet, a 3-ringer. Let's see what that sounds like. 48. 48, 49 for the 3-ringer. How about a script I Confederate button? Gotta know what they sound like. 44, solid 44. Okay. How about, let's move to something a little trickier. Little tiny half dime. That's a silver half dime. 52. Yep, 51 on the half dime. And then let's really get small here. Let's go with a trime. Little tiny silver trime. 42. Alright, 43. Gotta dig those 43s if you want to try them, I guess. Alright, well that was a good test. It was good to hear the sounds, very Fisher-like. I'm going to take this out. I've got a dime and a quarter buried at 8 and 10 inches respectively in the backyard here. I've got a little coin garden set up. So I want to see how it does on those targets. We'll take it for a little test drive, and I can't wait to get this thing out tomorrow. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I've got a clad dime buried here at 8 inches down. The VDI's jumping around a little bit, but it's really not that bad. It hits it on every pass. Alright, that's a good sign. Let's see if I can find the quarter. Okay, for this test, by the way, I'm in artifact mode, and I've got the sensitivity set at 18. The max is 20, and it doesn't seem to be chattering at all, so that's a good sign. I think I've got this quarter located, but it's a real faint signal. Take a listen. VDI's jumping around a lot. That's a 10-inch quarter, clad quarter, buried flat. That's actually pretty doggone good. Hitting it in almost every pass. Let's change the angle a little bit. Yeah, again, the VDI jumps around a lot, and it's getting to be real faint. But that's not bad. For a 10-inch quarter, I'll take it. Alright, out here at an old plantation property today. Hunting with Woody out there with swinging the AT Pro. And I just got my first target of the day with the Fisher F44. This kind of jumped all over the place. It was about 6 or 7 inches down. It was jumping between 40 and 70. But looks pretty interesting here. This is like a handle from an old piece of silverware or something. Looks like it might have been 2-piece. I don't know if it's silver or not, but it kind of has that look to it. Alright, we'll definitely clean that up. But yeah, there you go. First target with the F44. Well, I'm over in an area of the plantation here that has a little shade. It's pretty warm today, but anyway, found something pretty interesting here. There's a lot of Civil War history here, and we've found some actually Confederate saddle shields here. Woody has 3 of them. Not all on this trip, but this looks like it's off of a saddle as well. So that's a very good sign. Ring up about a 38, 39 VDI on the F44. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with the performance. Okay, I had Woody bring these over today just so we could see them. These are the 3 Confederate States saddle shields that he's found on this plantation property. So obviously a lot of cavalry activity here right around the Civil War time. Pretty amazing finds, but all found right here on this property. Hopefully we can find something today. Stay tuned. Alright, we got our first good score with the F44. Got a nice solid 88-90 signal. A few inches down. Tip the plug up and look at that. There you go. Haven't touched it yet. Looks to me like a Merc. It's only about 4 inches down or so. See if we can flip that out. It's very well worn. Yeah, it's a Mercury dime. It's a Merc, but it's really worn. Might be an older one. We'll wash it up and take a look. Alright. First score for the 44. There it is. We'll take it. Alright, well here's a low tone, mid-tone actually. It was a solid 44 on the VDI. Jumped around a little bit, 41, 43. Look at this down here. Now that is cool, huh? Big escutcheon plate by the looks of it, or keyframe. Wow, that is a sweet relic right there. I like it. Pretty cool. Got a beautiful hedgerow of crepe myrtles that I'm working down through here. Used to be an old roadbed. Got a decent signal here. There's a ton of iron in the ground, but I had a nice little high chirp on the F44, rang in at about 68. And I can see something right over here that looks familiar. Just fell out the hole. Looks like it's going to be a Merc. Yep. Well, we'll clean that up and get a little date on it. Looks like a good one. We'll take it. Well, there's another thing I'm going to like about this F44, gang. It's starting to drizzle out here pretty good. But again, this is a weatherproof machine, so I can keep hunting. Rain, sleet, snow, doesn't matter. I can keep hunting with this one. Unlike my E-Track, I got to put a little baggie over the control pod on the E-Track in order to keep it dry. But anyhow, I'm going to keep hunting. Stay tuned. Way down this path here, hit a nice high screaming 86. Nice. 2 inches down. There she be. Just laying right there. Sweet. Silver Washington 44. I don't know, Woody. What do you think? F44 going to be all right?
I think it'll be good. Yeah. Seems to be good so far.
All right. We'll keep going. Okay, well, Woody was a little camera shy today, but this is a honkin' silver ring. Take a look at this thing. It's a FFA, Future Farmers of America. And it is in beautiful shape. It's old, but it's really heavy. I'm going to have to put that on a scale and weigh it. But yeah, it's just sterling marking right there. Balfour, sterling. It's a beauty. But there's no initials on it. There's no name. But just a monster ring. Really heavy. It's a good one. Okay, well, time for the summary. And how about that? First hunt with the Fisher F44 lands 3 silver coins and a couple of nice relics. I tell you what, I couldn't be happier. I want to thank Calico, obviously a huge shout out to Calico for sending me this machine. I think they know I've been in the market for a machine that will complement my E-Track. And this just might be the one. I'll tell you what, some pros and cons after hunting with this machine. I put 5 hours on this machine at that plantation with Woody. We had a great time. You saw that ring that he found, right? My goodness sakes, that was an amazing find from Woody. I think one of the best things about this, obviously, is that it's so lightweight. It's 2.3 pounds, and that includes the coil, the batteries, everything. The coil is extremely lightweight. I can't believe they can get an 11-inch coil on a machine with a console so small and get the performance you can get out of it. So hats off to Fisher. They've got a great product here, in my opinion. You saw I did some depth tests early before I went out hunting. It hit on that dime at 8 inches. It hit on the quarter at 10 inches. So I was real pleased with that. On the negative side, I guess if I'm going to pick anything out, a couple of things maybe. The handle, the design of the handle, it's real thin, and I'm used to something a little thicker to hang on to. Now I can remedy that. I can wrap this with like a tennis racket handle wrap, or some leather or something, make it a little thicker and a little more comfortable. But it's really geared for a smaller hand. So great machine for a youth, great machine for a female detectorist maybe. But that's one thing that I'm going to modify on this machine. On the positive, obviously, the lightweight is huge. The weatherproof console is a huge benefit for this machine. Again, I've been looking for something that I can hunt with in a light rain, or even, if you get caught out there in a downpour, sometimes it's going to happen. And if you don't have a weatherproof machine, well, then, like I said, you're getting out a baggie, or you're covering it with your raincoat, or whatever you can do to keep the console dry. But again, the coil is waterproof, so it's waterproof right up to here, and then the console itself is weatherproof. All right? Important to know the difference. One of the other things I liked about it was the large readout, the numbers, and you saw it when I was test driving this thing. But those large numbers really stick out. Turn that thing off. I was really impressed with how easy it was to read that screen. Very easy to read, and great big bold VDI numbers. Very, very nice. Another thing that I liked about it was the adjustable iron audio. So it has a scale from 0 to 20 for the volume, right? And 1 to 10 is all pretty much the same. The iron and all the good tones go up in volume. Then once you get past 10, the iron audio goes down, and the higher signals, the more desirable signals, go up in volume. So you can adjust that iron audio down so it's not quite such pollution in the ears, so to speak. I really like that, because I like to listen to it all. I like to hunt wide open, no discrimination. I like to hear everything that's in the ground. So adjusting that iron audio down is very important, and a real nice feature. Another thing that I might say is a con are the ground balance arrows. And let me show you this again. It's probably going to make some noise because I've got the sensitivity turned way up. But these ground balance arrows are constantly flashing. Now, I thought it was going to be more of a hassle than it was. I thought it was really going to be aggravating, but it's really not that bad. You get used to it after a while. And it is a constant reminder to ground balance your machine. That plantation, as you saw, some of the soil was kind of red and iron infested. A lot of it was mineralized. Some of it was kind of sandy and black dirt. So it changed a lot. The soil conditions changed a lot, and this machine will let you know with those up and down arrows when to re-ground balance. Well, they were flashing quite a bit that day, needless to say. So yeah, I did ground balance quite often, but those arrows continue to flash. And if you want to call it a negative, I guess you could say it's a negative, but I got used to it, and it was really not that big of a deal. On the positive side, again, it's really easy to learn. A lot of you guys know that I started hunting in this hobby with a Fisher F4. So moving to a 44 was like riding a bike to me. It was real simple, same types of tones, same basic types of features, but the console, compared to my F4 that I started with, the F44, the console is way more advanced than the F4. So hats off to Fisher on that improvement. I think it got great depth. You saw me doing some tests before I went out hunting. I've got a dime buried at 8 inches and a quarter buried flat at 10 inches, and it hit real hard on both of those objects. So without taking it through a thorough depth test, I'm very impressed with the depth that I got on this machine. As far as the EMI and sensitivity to that interference, there were a lot of power lines around that plantation that I hunted, and it really didn't seem to bother it at all. I ran the sensitivity at 18 pretty much all day. I tried taking it up to 19 and 20, but it started getting a little chatty. So I put it back down to 18 and it ran smooth all day long. So no problems with the sensitivity, plenty of depth on this machine. I think for a mid-level machine, for a price point where it's at, about $350, I think you get really good depth with this machine for that price. So hats off to Fisher for that. What else? One thing that I found out on the negative side perhaps is that it does pick up some bottle caps. Now the VDI numbers jumped like crazy on the bottle caps, but it did find some bottle caps. Some of your high-end machines, for instance, my E-Track will not show you a bottle cap unless it's gold filled. But this machine will show you some bottle caps, but I think you can learn to pick them out after a while. They start to sound like a quarter, but the VDI really jumps around. So, that's something I'm certainly willing to put up with. But anyway, again, huge thank you to Calico for sending this machine to me. I think it's going to be a really nice compliment to my E-Track. When Calico sends me a machine to do some field testing with, they give me an option. If you don't like it, send it back, and just certainly do a field test on it and send it back. But I don't think this one's going to get sent back, folks. I think this one's going to be a nice addition to the arsenal and a nice compliment to my E-Track. So, all right, I've had about enough of this Blue Jay behind me screaming. So I tell you what, let's call it a wrap. If you got any questions, please feel free to comment below. Also, if you want any more information about this machine or other products, I'm going to give you a link to Calico's website down below. Fisher makes a bunch of great machines. Calico will give you the service that you're looking for, gang. Hey everyone, till next time, take it easy.